till algae, if I'm not wrong, right? Yes. So yeah, so we had completed till algae, and now we'll go ahead with the. No, I have not shared the screen, beta. I have not yet shared the screen. I'll share the screen with you all. Okay. So in the last class, we had completed till algae, and today we have to go ahead with bryophytes, pteridophytes, and we have to see gymnosperms and angiosperms as well. Correct? So these are the few topics that we need to cover to go ahead with uh, this topic of plant kingdom. So let's move ahead. I guess now we will be able to see the screen. Himangi ma'am, you need to give me the screen sharing option. Okay. Yes, but I'm fine. Thank you so much. So we can go ahead with the bryophytes. But before that, since we are meeting after almost a week, let's have a quick recap about whatever we had done in the last class. है ना? So you'll get connected to whatever I'm saying. Very quickly, I'll go ahead with that. So we have started with Plant Kingdom, artificial system as proposed by Carlos Linnaeus, which was completely based on the morphological and the reproductive features, which was not having a complete scientific basis for classification. The next was natural system, which was put forward by Bentham and Hooker, and it was based on the natural affinities that exist between the same species to go ahead with the progeny. That was put forward by Bentham and Hooker, and the name was given as natural system of classification, which included ultra microscopy or ultra structure, then anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry. All those were also included along with morphology and reproductive structure. Then came phylogenetic relationship that was put forward by Prantl and Engler, and it is based on the evolutionary studies together. That is the ancestral studies, as we say. And even today, we are using phylogenetic type of classification, and we are, along with phylogenetic, we are using some modern taxonomical aspects wherein uh, the classification becomes very, very simple and easy. So, which are the other taxonomical aspects that we consider, which comes under neo-taxonomy, that is numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, आगे भी है जो देखेंगे. Numerical में I told you it's a software which has been developed, and we have to just read the options and get our answers fixed. So we have got three options: yes, no, don't do, right? And accordingly, we have to just based on the total numbers of questions that are there in the questionnaire, we come to the particular decision that ये जो species है ये कहाँ belong करेगा, correct? Then we talked about cytotaxonomy. Cytotaxonomy was your cytological information like chromosome number, chromosome type, its structure, its behavior, everything has been, included in cytotaxonomy. Okay, okay, fine. Then chemotaxonomy. Chemotaxonomy has included all the chemicals. Okay, so what are the different chemicals that are going to be synthesized in the cell? So we have done cell, the unit of life. So you know what are the different chemicals? They could be enzymes, they could be hormones, right? All those things can be, like taken into consideration, and that will also help in groupism, right? So these few techniques we have started to use. Based on all these techniques, that is artificial classification, then natural classification, phylogenetic classification, using numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, chemotaxonomy, we have come up with a very beautiful, successful plan of classification for plants. So last class I had explained this entire chart with you all, I had discussed with you all, of which we have completed with algae, right? I guess, yes, we have completed with algae. Yeah. So algae may we had seen the three, types into which they are further classified. That is chlorophyceae, green algae, phaeophyceae, brown algae, and rhodophyceae, red algae. Right? So these three we have done in detail, and today we are going to go ahead with bryophytes. So what are the things that we have seen in algae? I had given you all the points of algae, like how they are and where are they present, and what are the examples, right? And we have seen there is something called as zoospores. Even in fungi, we have seen the zoospores, that is motile spores. And here also there are going to be motile spores, which are going to give rise to algae. I had explained you about isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy. Isogamy was fusion between the two gametes which are morphologically and physiologically similar. Anisogamy, they are morphologically different. So one might be having apical flagellae, one might be having lateral flagellae, and these two will come together. Okay, so they are morphologically different, physiologically similar. Such type of fusion will be called as anisogamy. And if morphologically as well as physiologically they are completely different, and the fusion between such gametes that take place, then we call it as oogamy. Correct? So these three definitions, isogamous, anisogamous, and oogamous, with the examples we have seen. Yeah. So here we had come to the classification of algae, chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae, and rhodophyceae. These were the diagrams that I had talked about. I had told you all one thing to remember, that is the vegetative form of Volvox is filamentous, while its gametes are non-filamentous. And in case of Eulothrix, the uh, vegetative form is non-filamentous, but its gametes are filamentous. Okay, so these are few things that we have seen, of course. So I had explained about these words. Epi means above, phyta means plants. So above plants will be epiphytes. Endo means inside. Phyta means plants. So the algae which are going to be staying within or living inside as parasites. Like that way the names have been given. So these things, I guess you all have followed, of course. Then, yeah, I had talked about pyrenoid, which is a very important point over here. That is, they contain proteins besides starch. This particular structure is going to be called as pyrenoid, which is a characteristic feature of your green algae. That's your chlorophyll. Yeah. Commonly found examples were your Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Pyrogera, Chara, etc. And what are these classifications of algae based on? They are based on two basic things. First is the pigment, and second is the reserve food. So in green algae, I had told you all the pigment is going to be chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, exactly the same as we can see in our green plants. And the reserve food material was um, starch. Yes, correct. Very right. So there we have talked about the green algae classification. Then we move to brown algae. Brown algae में fucoxanthin ये word आपको याद रखना है, because the color of the brown algae will depend upon the content of the pigment fucoxanthin. More is the amount of fucoxanthin, deep brown color will be the color taken up by the algae. So it depends upon the fucoxanthin content. So the pigment of fucoxanthin is very important for Phaeophyceae, along with chlorophyll A and C. Your Phaeophyceae or your brown algae do not have chlorophyll B. Along with chlorophyll A, they have got chlorophyll C. So chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and fucoxanthin are three important pigments seen in Phaeophyceae. Okay. Then the next one is the reserve food material. As I had told you all, it's going to be laminarin and it could be mannitol. Okay. And one more point of view that we have to remember is The cellulose and algin are the two chemical components of the cell wall. Okay, so you can see the last point over there. The vegetative cells have a cellulosic cell wall, usually covered on the outside by a gelatinous coating of algin. Okay, and in brown algae, in red algae, I had given you, I had made you write one word, that is carrageen, if you have written. Okay, so yeah, holdfast type found on, like again the same, isogamy and isogamy eugamy we have just seen. Examples is Ectocarpus, Dictyota, Laminaria, Sargassum, Fucus. They all are going to be the examples of Phaeophytes. And I had told you about something called as a trumpet hyphae. If a word called as trumpet hyphae is given in your exams, आग बंद करके आपको ब्राउन algae के बारे में सोचना है, क्योंकि trumpet algae is only and only associated with brown algae, nothing to do with green or red. Okay, so जैसे pyrenoid is only associated with green algae, वैसे trumpet hyphae होना is the characteristic feature of brown algae, right? Okay, and in Rhodophyceae, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, and R phycoerythrin are the three predominant pigments that give them a characteristic red color. The reserve food material over here was, do you remember something called as, what was the reserve food material in Rhodophyceae? Anyone who can tell me, who can recollect? No one? It's Floridian starch. Floridian starch. Okay. So this Floridian starch is the reserve food material of Rhodophyceae. And this will be having your first, like sulfonated components in its cell wall. That is going to be your carrageen. So Floridian starch is very much similar to your amylopectin, which is what we had discussed in the last class. Yeah, they reproduce asexually by non-motile spores and sexually also by non-motile spores. They show oogamy, and the common examples are Polysiphonia, Porphyria, Gracilaria and Gentium. ठीक है, ओके, तो ये हमने रेड algae के बारे में कंप्लीट किया था, और ये distinguishing chart देखा था, which is there in your textbook. Economic importance is also given in your books. They are the, predominantly carbon fixers. So more than 50% of the carbon dioxide is fixed by the algae alone, which is something of great importance. Yeah, and it can be, some species can be eaten as food supplements. So here they are saying that chlorella can be eaten as a food supplement by the space travelers. Similarly, algin and carrageen are hydrocolloids which are used in ice creams, jellies, microbiological work, etc. Okay. So I guess like why I'm giving this as a recap, because we're meeting after a week completely. So I just wanted to brush up and bring that particular thing in front of you, that what we had done in a week's time, right? And finally, we go to bryophytes, which is a new chapter, which is a new topic under the same chapter of planting. Okay. So I guess you all have understood what I'm trying to tell you all. And let's move with bryophytes. Any conclusion, any doubts anyone is having for algae before I go ahead with bryophytes? Anyone would like to ask any doubts? No? Okay. We'll move ahead with bryophytes. Bryophytes includes various mosses, hornworts, liverworts that are found commonly growing in moist shaded areas in the hills. Okay, so they are also going to be found near the water bodies basically, because they require water for fertilization. So see, where are they seen? They are seen in moist and shady areas. So during these rainy seasons, you can see a lot of mosses growing around you, because during the rainy season, the conditions are moist and humid, and it's a bit shady. The sun is not scorching heat as it is now. अभी तो बहुत ही ज्यादा परेशान करके रखा है, बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी हो रही है सबको. I know. So it's not like that way during that particular time. So ऐसे conditions favorable होते हैं for the growth of bryophytes. Okay. Bryophytes are also called as amphibians of the plant kingdom because these plants can live in soil but are dependent on water for sexual reproduction. So amphibians, just like amphibians, these bryophytes are also having the similar characteristics of amphibians, and therefore bryophytes are known as amphibians of the plant kingdom. This question has been asked 4 times in the last 15-20 years, that the amphibians of plant kingdom are, or bryophytes are known as dash of the plant kingdom. You have to select the incorrect match, select the correct match, something like that. So you have to always remember that bryophytes are what? Amphibians. They usually occur in damp, humid, and shaded localities. They play an important role in plant succession on bare rocks and soil. Yes. Now, wherever there are newly formed rocks, okay, जैसे कि यू नो हाउ रॉक्स आर फॉर्म, ज्योग्राफी आपको सबको 10th स्टैंडर्ड तक आपने पढ़ा हुआ है, तो आपको रॉक फॉर्मेशन कैसे हुआ था या होता है ये पता होगा. सो वेन एवर द मोल्टन लावा गेट्स कूल्ड एंड अ न्यू रॉक इज गोइंग टू बी फॉर्म. सो इस न्यू रॉक के ऊपर द फर्स्ट organisms to come into existence, okay, the first forms to come into existence are lichens. Okay, and lichens will then pave the way for the growth of bryophytes. So they are going to be the ones who are going to be the successors of lichens. Therefore इनको कहते हैं plant succession on barren rock is continued by bryophytes. You know what are lichens? We had done this in biological classification, had explained you what are lichens. Okay, so lichens are what? They are the they are the symbiotic associations between algae and fungi. करेक्ट. तो सबसे पहले लाइकेंस की ग्रोथ होती है बैरन रॉक पे, न्यूली फॉर्म्ड एरिया पे, और जैसे ही लाइकेंस ग्रो होने लगते हैं ना, दे विल बी गिविंग वे टू द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ दीज ब्रायोफाइट्स. ओके, so the bryophytes are the plant successors on barren land or rock. ठीक है. The plant body of bryophyte is more differentiated than that of algae. Yes. So algae was just the thallus body, right? It did not have a well-defined organization. So we have seen that it is a mass of cells or aggregations of cells together. Now bryophytes is going to have a better version of it. वो थोड़े से ज़्यादा advanced है as compared to algae, right? Now see, it is a thallus-like prostrate or erect and attached to the substratum by unicellular or multicellular rhizoids. So in yes, last class, you remember I had given you root-like structures, rhizoid, stem-like structure, codex, leaf-like structure, frond, है ना. तो ये जो रूट-like structures, rhizoids होते हैं ना बेटा, ये यूनिसेलुलर भी हो सकते हैं, मल्टीसेलुलर भी हो सकते हैं. Generally, lower bryophytes will have unicellular rhizoids and higher bryophytes will have multicellular rhizoids. Okay, so the rhizoids are going to help the plant body to get attached with the substratum wherever they are growing. जहां कहाँ वो ग्रो हो रहे हैं ना, तो उसको उस सबस्ट्रेटम को पकड़ने के लिए और पकड़ के जकड़ के वॉश आउट ना हो जाए वो वाटर करंट से एंड ऑल, उसके लिए उनको है ना एक ये चाहिए होता है, बेस चाहिए होता है. तो वो जो बेस को चिपकने का काम करते हैं ना, क्लीन करने का काम जो करते हैं ना, उनको हम कहते हैं राइजोम. ओके, they lack two roots, stem or leaves. They do not have two roots, do not have two stem, do not have two leaves, right? They may possess root-like, leaf-like or stem-like structures, जिसके हमने नाम भी लिखे हैं in the last class. Agreed? So any conclusion on this slide, whatever is there in front of you right now, anyone who has not followed this, any point on this slide not followed by anyone of you all, my dears? Done? Okay hai? I'll go ahead. Sure. Okay. The plants are characterized by the presence of conspicuous green, well-defined, nutritionally independent gametophytes to which are always attached physically and nutritionally dependent sporophytes. So last class I explained you all about that only, that what is the gametophyte and what is the sporophyte. I had also told you all only bryophytes में ऐसा है कि the dominant ones are going to be gametophytes and the others are going to be the sporophytes. On the other hand, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperm, तीनों में ना बेटा sporophyte is dominant and gametophyte is not dominant. ओके तो अब हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं, अब हम ब्रायोफाइटा की बात कर रहे हैं. ब्रायोफाइटा में क्या बेटा डोमिनेंट है, व्हाट इज डोमिनेंट, गैमीटोफाइट इज डोमिनेंट. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द वर्ड गैमीटोफाइट, द structure which is involved in formation of gametes will be called as gametophyte, and the structure which is involved in the formation of spores will be called as sporophyte. So we have got two sections, gametophytic generation and sporophytic generation. Okay. I had told you all what is the meaning of this word dominant. So dominant का मतलब होता है the one which can be viewed with our naked eyes. जो हमें डायरेक्टली हमारे आंखों से दिखता है प्लांट बॉडी, उसको हम डोमिनेंट फेज कहते हैं. ठीक है. तो मैंगो प्लांट जो है वो स्पोरोफाइट डोमिनेंट है, उसका स्पोरोफाइट डोमिनेंट है. तो जो आपको उसके लीव दिखते हैं, आपको उसका स्टेम दिखता है, फ्लावर्स दिखते हैं, ये सारे क्या है बेटा, व्हाट आर दी स्ट्रक्चर्स, दिस आर दी स्ट्रक्चर्स बिलोंगिंग टू दी स्पोरोफाइटिक जनरेशन. ओके. उसके गैमेटोफाइट्स हमें नहीं दिखाई देते हैं. We cannot see the anther and the I mean the pollen grain and the male gametes with our naked eyes. We cannot. Okay. So here, who is going to be dominant in case of bryophytes? The gametophyte is going to be dominant. Okay. So they are saying these plants are characterized by conspicuous. Conspicuous मतलब जो हमें दिखता है. The one which is clearly visible, उसको हम कहते हैं conspicuous. And inconspicuous का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? What do you mean by the word inconspicuous? Hidden, which cannot be seen. Okay. But here they are saying that the gametophyte is conspicuous, मतलब the one which can be seen directly with our naked eye is green in color. आपने देखा है ना मॉस, देखा तो होगा ही, है ना. तो मॉसेस कौन से कलर के होते हैं बेटा? Someone's mic is on. Anyone whose mic is on? Manan beta, your mic is on. Okay. So this green color के होते हैं, ये तो हमें पता ही है ना. So it is green in color, it is clearly visible, it is well developed. Okay. Because it is well developed हमें दिखाई देता है. Correct. Nutritionally independent. See, it is green in color means it's nutritionally independent. हाँ. Green है मतलब it is photosynthetic. It can prepare its own food. So definitely it's going to be independent nutritionally. These are what, ये जो conspicuous है, ये जो green है, ये जो well developed है, ये जो nutritionally independent है, जो photosynthetic है, ये कौन है bryophyte में? तो ये gametophyte है. Okay, got it? So it is a gametophyte which is conspicuous, green, well developed, nutritionally independent. ठीक है. On this gametophyte, always there is going to be the sporophyte which is going to be dependent for nourishment. तो ये gametophyte के ऊपर ही sporophyte formation होगा, लेकिन ये sporophyte nutritionally independent नहीं है. तो ये जो sporophyte है, it will be attached to the gametophyte. And why is it attached? It is attached for nourishment. Okay, got it? So to this, there is going to be always attached physically and nutritionally dependent sporophytes. Did you all understand the meaning of this sentence? This sentence is the heart of bryophyta. So I hope you all have followed this sentence and the wordings very perfectly. There should not be any confusion. Okay. Now, the gametophyte constitutes the dominant phase of the life cycle that exhibits sharply defined alternation of generation. Alternation का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? What do you mean by alternate? Option, है ना? But इधर alternation means एक के बाद एक सक्सेशन. So gametophyte will give rise to sporophyte. Sporophyte will give rise to gametophyte. उसको हम कहते हैं alternation of generation. ओके, अंडा पहला या मुर्गी पहला, ये वाला क्वेश्चन है ये alternation of generation मतलब, right? So for so many years this debate is going on that अंडा पहला, कोई कहते हैं नहीं नहीं अंडा कैसे पहला मुर्गी पहला. So alternation of generation. So gametophyte will always alternate with a sporophyte and sporophyte will always alternate with a gametophyte. ठीक है? So they show alternation of generation. Alternation of generation was not seen in algae. This particular phenomena has started from bryophytes. So bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, हर जगह पर हमें alternation of generation दिखाई देने वाला है. ठीक है? They lack two root stems or leaves. Unicellular or multicellular rhizoids are present. They are the first embryophytes. What do you mean by the word embryophytes? Those which are going to form an embryo. Okay? So सबसे पहले embryo formation was seen in bryophytes. Okay? Why like that way, beta? Why like that way? The reason is very simple. The reason is the uh, one of the generations is haploid, the other generation is diploid. So the gametophytic generation will be always haploid, as I said, while the sporophytic will be always diploid. अब देखिए, अब इस पॉइंट को थोड़ा सा जो मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ ना उसके पास ध्यान दीजिएगा बेटा, बिकॉज ये पॉइंट है ना, दे आर द फर्स्ट एम्ब्रियोफाइट, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखिए, some cells of the sporophyte undergo meiosis to produce haploid spores which germinate to produce gametophyte. अब ये दो पॉइंट्स को मैं कनेक्ट कर रही हूँ. So please pay attention to whatever I'm saying right now. Okay. First I'll talk about the algae. This is N. This is N. Okay. So algae will always be haploid. Exceptions है. Exceptions है जैसे कि fucus है. This is diploid. Okay. But in general when we talk about algae, they are haploid. अब देखिए मैं आपको कुछ मेरा व्हाइट बोर्ड यूज करके बताऊंगी ये वाला फिनोमेना, बिकॉज ये फिनोमेना अगर आपको समझेगा ना तो इजी हो जाएगा मेरा क्या आई वांट टू से. ओके, नाउ सी माय डियर्स, नाउ दिस इज गोइंग टू बी, आई जस्ट ड्रॉ दिस. ओके, तो ये है ना, हम लोग स्पाइरोगायरा का ये ले लेते हैं, एल्गे स्पाइरोगायरा. ओके, ये दूसरा ये स्पाइरोगायरा. चलो, ये स्पाइरोगायरा जो है ना, इट इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म व्हाट, इट इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म, आई विल राइट डाउन अबाउट दिस. ओके, सो दिस इज स्पाइरोगायरा जो एल्गे है. करेक्ट, स्पाइरोगायरा कौन है बेटा? ग्रीन एल्गे है. सो इट्स एन एल्गे. ओके, वेल then इसका जो this is in which form? This is in which form? Vegetative form. It is in vegetative form. ठीक है, so Spirogyra algae है which is going to be in the vegetative form. Okay, the vegetative form is always going to be haploid. Vegetative form is always going to be haploid. N होता है ये. ठीक है, समझ में आ गई बात? अब ये जो स्पाइरोगायरा है, ये जो स्पाइरोगायरा है, ये स्पाइरोगायरा क्या करेगा? द स्पाइरोगायरा विल अंडरगो द प्रोसेस ऑफ, स्पाइरोगायरा विल अंडरगो द प्रोसेस ऑफ mitosis. Spirogyra will undergo the process of mitosis to form whatever number of, जितना वो माइटोसिस करेगा ना, तो सपोज 2 गैमीट्स उसने बनाए, एक माइटोसिस करके उसने 2 गैमीट्स बनाए. ठीक है, ओके. अब देखिए व्हाट आर दीज, उन्होंने क्या बनाया उसने दीज आर व्हाट, स्पाइरोगायरा, sorry, gametes. Okay, what are these? स्पाइरोगायरा गैमीट्स, ठीक है। ये जो स्पाइरोगायरा गैमीट्स है, गैमीट्स आर आल्सो हैप्लॉइड, ठीक है, इसलिए यहाँ पर माइटोसिस लिखा है मैंने। मियोसिस होता तो 1/4 1/4 1/4 1/4 होता, जो पॉसिबल नहीं है, करेक्ट। सो स्पाइरोगायरा का वेजिटेटिव फॉर्म इज आल्सो हैप्लॉइड एंड स्पाइरोगायरा का गैमीट्स आर आल्सो हैप्लॉइड। इधर तक कहानी समझ में आ गई आपको? नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, देयर विल बी लाइक ये जो दो गैमीट्स बने हैं इनका फ्यूजन दिखाते हैं। ओके, लेट अस शो देयर फ्यूजन। सो if these two, okay, if these two will undergo fusion, okay, इन दोनों का फ्यूजन हो जाएगा, so it will result into what beta, it will result into what, this will result into the formation of a diploid structure. So I'll just write down over here fusion of gametes, fusion of gametes will result into what, it will result in the formation of something called as, what is this? Yes, very correct, right beta. So this is going to give rise to something called as the zygote, है ना? So yes, ये क्या बना, ये बना zygote. Zygote हमेशा कैसा रहता है? What is the ploidy level of zygote always? N or 2n? How is it? N होता है कि 2n होता है zygote? Come on, answer this question. हाँ, yes, Shreya, Sneha, Himanshu, okay, okay, Ansh, you have also given the right answer, beta. Very good. So always remember, zygote is going to be 2n. Now tell me one thing. Now tell me one thing. Zygote 2n है, vegetative form n है. So is the new generation resembling or having the same number of chromosome as that of the parent? पेरेंट के जितने हैं कि उसके डबल है बेटा उसके पास जाइगोट। अभी जो अगर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जो बना है उसके पास डबल है या उतने ही है जितने पेरेंट के पास थे? वेरी राइट बेटा, डबल है ना? यस, सिया करेक्ट, प्रेक्षा करेक्ट, ज्ञानी यस 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 करेक्ट, अश्विन डबल है। अब हमारे में और हमारे पेरेंट्स की बात देखिएगा बेटा, आर पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो हैव गॉट 46 क्रोमोसोम्स, यू ऑल्सो हैव गॉट 46 क्रोमोसोम्स। अगर हमारे पास 92 क्रोमोसोम्स होते, अगर हमारे पास 92 क्रोमोसोम्स होते तो वी वुड हैव बीन एलियंस देन आवर पेरेंट्स, करेक्ट? सो व्हाट इज द थंब रूल? व्हाट इज द थंब रूल? द ऑफस्प्रिंग एंड द पेरेंट्स शुड हैव सेम नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स। देखिए ये कंसेप्ट को समझिएगा बेटा, ये है ना कोई भी बुक में नहीं दिया है, सीधा सीधा ना स्टेटमेंट्स देके बात को खत्म किया है जो हमें कभी नहीं समझता है। ओके, तो इसलिए मैं आपको बहुत सिंपल वे में ये समझाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, है ना? तो न्यू जनरेशन एंड पेरेंटल जनरेशन, दे शुड मैच with respect to the chromosome number. Now here what is the condition? Here the chromosome number is double. अब मुझे बताइएगा बेटा, अगर ये जाइगोट माइटोसिस करा, अगर ये जाइगोट माइटोसिस करा तो आगे जो जनरेशन बनेगा वो सारा 2n ही बनेगा, बराबर है? if 2n is going to undergo mitosis, then all the cells of that particular generation will become 2n, no, right? So they won't resemble their parents. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है, in this case these particular organisms जिनका vegetative form haploid है, उनमें क्या होता है? So this zygote will undergo a process of, they will undergo the process of yes, they will undergo the process of meiosis। और क्या बनेंगे बच्चा? What will be formed now? क्या बनेगा? 1 2, 3, 4. 4 haploids bane, correct? So what are these? These are the 4 haploids which are a product of meiosis, correct? Got it? Now what will happen to these 4 haploids? आगे जाके क्या होगा? Each will germinate to form the vegetative structures. Got it? अब क्या होगा बेटा? ये जो हर एक गोला आपको दिखाई दे रहा है ना, ये ऐसा लंबा स्पाइरोगायरा का स्ट्रक्चर बनाएगा, फिलामेंटल स्ट्रक्चर बनाएगा आफ्टर जर्मिनेशन. Okay, so this type of life cycle is seen in your algae, because algae जो है, they had started their life with haploid cells and they want their parents के जैसा ही उनको दिखना है with respect to the chromosome number, and therefore they will undergo this particular cycle. This type of cycle is called as zygotic meiosis. क्योंकि zygote is undergoing meiosis, तो ये process को हम क्या कहते हैं? ये process का नाम क्या है बच्चा? ये process का नाम है, I'll write it with red. The name of this process is क्या कहते हैं इसको हम? zygotic meiosis. अब zygotic meiosis के ऊपर है ना बहुत बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं आपके एग्जाम में, तो प्लीज डोंट get scared about this word. What is it? It is zygotic meiosis. Okay, so you please write down these things and the content the way I have shown, that what is zygotic meiosis. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसके बाद में गेमेटिक meiosis क्या है वो बताऊंगी. क्विकली जॉट डाउन दीज थिंग्स बेटा, फटाफट अपने नोटबुक खोल के फटाफट ये लिख लो. अंडर द हेडिंग ऑफ zygotic meiosis, which is seen in algae, example I have shown of Spirogyra. I hope you all have understood. Anyone who has not understood, my dears? Anyone who has not followed any point of it, any part of it? Okay, my dear. Thank you so much, Manu. Yeah, write down this. I'll give you 2 minutes. Why I'll give you 2 minutes? इसीलिए. Done? Done, beta? Can I clear this so that I can explain what is gametic meiosis? Okay. Anyone who is still not done, please, because if I clear then आप लोग आजकल बहुत स्मार्ट हुए. तुम लोग क्या करते हो ना मुझे पता है. लेजी बोन्स हो गए हो तुम लोग सब. हाँ, तुम लोग एक फोटो निकाल के रख देते हो है ना, स्क्रीनशॉट लेके. अरे भाई ऐसे मत करना, लिटरली मेक इट इन योर नोटबुक्स। एक दिन तुम्हारा टेक्नोलॉजी अगर फेल हो गया ना। Sure. So this is all about your zygotic meiosis. Now I will explain something called as the gametic meiosis. Fine. So let us understand the embryophytes के बारे में, जहाँ से हमने start किया था अपना discussion. I'll talk about them. Now I'm talking about the bryophytes now. Okay. So first I'm talking about the bryophytes. So the gametophytic generation जो मैं बात कर रही हूँ, gametophytic generation is made up of what? It's made up of rhizoids, right? Codex, fronds. Then they have got antheridium, archegonium. तो गैमेटोफाइटिक जनरेशन के कौन कौन से पार्ट्स हैं? ओके, अगर मैं गैमेटोफाइटिक जनरेशन बोल रही हूँ तो ऑब्वियसली दीज ऑल आर गोइंग टू बी व्हाट? हैप्लॉइड्स. ओके, अब ये जो एंथरडियम है ये क्या बनाएगा बेटा? व्हाट इट विल मेक? इट विल मेक it's going to make what? Haploid male gametes. It's going to make haploid male gametes. आर्किगोनियम क्या बनाएगा? हैप्लॉइड फीमेल गैमीट्स बनाएगा. अग्रीड. तो हैप्लॉइड मेल गैमीट्स कौन बना रहा है? एंथरडियम. हैप्लॉइड फीमेल गैमीट्स कौन बना रहा है? आर्किगोनियम. ठीक है, ये सारे पांच के पांच जो है ना बेटा, ये सारे के सारे गैमेटोफाइटिक जनरेशन को बिलोंग करते हैं. मींस दे ऑल विल बी हैविंग वन सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स, हैप्लॉइड्स है. ठीक है. ऑन दी अदर हैंड अब क्या होता है वो देखिएगा. अब ये जो एंथरडियम है, एंथरडियम जो है, ये एंथरडियम क्या बनाएगा? एंथरडियम बनाएगा समथिंग कॉल्ड एज एंथर. ये इतना मोटा क्यों आया? तो ये जो एंथरडियम है इसने क्या बनाया? अरे यार, ये अंडू वाला ऑप्शन कुछ है क्या? हाँ, हाँ, थैंक यू. तो ये जो एंथरडियम है उसने क्या बनाया? ये एंथरडियम ने बनाया है मेल गैमीट्स. ओके, सो लेट अस अज्यूम कि ये जो है ये मेल गैमीट्स है विच इज मोटाइल. ओके, इसने मैंने उसको फ्लैजिला ड्रॉ किया. So I'll make many such antherzoids. Many such antherzoids will be made, and these antherzoids are a product of what? Mitosis की meiosis. Can you all tell me? ये antherzoids जो बन रहे हैं वो माइटोसिस से बन रहे हैं कि meiosis से बन रहे हैं? Come on, tell me. Quickly tell me. No, wrong answer. बच्चा सोच के बोलिएगा. Who's this? Parnavi, you're right. Parnavi's answer is right. Others, you all have given the wrong answer. Come on. हाँ, कोमल, you are right. बेटा ये haploid है. Look at them. They are haploids. Antheridium is also N, belonging to gametophytic generation. So ये जो antheridium से जो haploid males बन रहे हैं ना, ये भी mitosis से ही बनेंगे. Because antheridium भी अपना कैसा है? Antheridium is also N, and the gametes are also N. So it's going to be by your mitosis, correct? तो इधर मैं ना माइटोसिस से बने हुए गैमीट्स लिख देती हूँ। गैमीट्स फॉर्म्ड एज अ result of mitosis. Okay, gametes formed as a result of mitosis. What are these gametes called as? Anthrozoids. What we call them as? Anthrozoids. Okay. On the other hand, यहाँ पर मैं फीमेल गैमीट्स बना रही हूँ। फीमेल गैमीट्स जो है उसका कलर चेंज करती हूँ मैं, so you would be able to understand the difference. There could be only one female gamete formation, okay? और ये बड़ा होता है और सर्कुलर होता है, ठीक है? तो ये जो है this is going to be the female gamete formed by mitosis. This is going to be called as, इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? oogonia कहते हैं, या फिर उसको एग भी कहते हैं, एनीथिंग दैट्स फाइन, ओके? अब देखो बेटा, ये जो एंथ्रोजॉइड्स है वो कितने सारे हैं और oogonia एक ही है, तो एक पर्टिकुलर आर्केगोनियम में एक टाइम पे सिर्फ एक ही एग बनेगा, whereas there would be several antherzoids formed from your antherium. अब कहानी में ट्विस्ट किधर है? देखो, कहानी में ट्विस्ट इधर है कि these antherzoids are liberated before the egg formation. देखिए हाँ, सो यहाँ पर क्या हो गया? एंथरजॉइड्स पहले बन गए और एंथरजॉइड्स पहले रिलीज हो गए हैं एंड एग अभी तक फॉर्म नहीं हुआ है, एग अभी तक अच्छी तरह से फॉर्म नहीं हुआ है। अब ऐसे में क्या करें? तो ऐसे में ये जो एग है ना, ये अगर पूरी तरह से डेवलप नहीं हुआ और अगर फर्टिलाइज हो गया ना, तो उस जाइगोट का कुछ यूज नहीं है। इट कैन नॉट डेवलप इनटू अ फुल्ली मैच्योर्ड प्लांट, कभी नहीं बनेगा वो वेस्ट हो जाएगा फर्टिलाइजेशन इवेंट। सो क्या होता है, ये एग पूरी तरह से फॉर्म होने तक these antherzoids move in the water. These are going to be amphibians of the plant kingdom, right? So where do they move? They move in the water area. And when the egg will be ready, the time when egg will be ready, there will be a signal given out which is called as a chemical signal. ओके, तो एक केमिकल सिग्नल बाहर दिया जाता है। क्या है ये केमिकल सिग्नल? इट इज नथिंग, इट इज जस्ट द लिबरेशन ऑफ सुक्रोज. So whenever sucrose solution will be oozing out near the archegonium, the anthrozoids will get attracted towards that sugar solution. देखिए, बहुत बहुत मस्त कहानी है ये, है ना? सो एग जब तक रेडी नहीं है तब तक एंथ्रोजॉइड्स पूरे वाटर बॉडी में घूम रहे हैं इधर उधर, है ना? जैसे एग फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है, immediately the archegonium will give out something called as sugar solution. Okay, that sugar solution will act as a chemoattractant, a chemical which is going to attract the anthrozoids. Okay, that's called as chemoattractant. So the sugar solution will act like a chemoattractant and all the anthrozoids will get attracted towards the archegonium. ठीक है, समझ में आई यहाँ तक की कहानी? ठीक है, अब ये जो एंथरिडियम होता है ना, ये वाला स्ट्रक्चर बेटा, ये जो एंथरिडियम होता है ना, एंथरिडियम इज गोइंग टू बी रैकेट शेप. रैकेट, अपना बैडमिंटन का रैकेट कैसे दिखता है ना, उस शेप का एंथरिडियम होता है और उस रैकेट शेप के अंदर से ये एंथ्रोजॉइड्स बन के बाहर निकले हैं. ऑन द अदर हैंड, ये जो आर्किगोनियम है ना, इट इज अ फ्लास्क शेप स्ट्रक्चर. यू नो व्हाट इज अ फ्लास्क? ओके, तो आर्किगोनियम इज अ फ्लास्क शेप स्ट्रक्चर. अब फ्लास्क का नेक होता है ना, फ्लास्क को नेक होता है कि नहीं, और नीचे ऐसा बल्ज एरिया होता है, वैसे ही ये जो आर्किगोनियम है उसके ये फ्लास्क शेप स्ट्रक्चर को नाम दिया गया है, जो आगे मैंने लिखा हुआ है अपने डिस्क्रिप्शन में है, बट फिलहाल मैं बता रही हूँ. उसका नाम है नेक एंड वेंटर. क्या कहते हैं उसको? नेक एंड वेंटर। और ये जो फ्लास्क है, फ्लास्क के ऊपर 2 लिड सेल्स होते हैं। यू नो व्हाट आर लिड्स? तो जैसे ढक्कन होता है ना हमारे फ्लास्क के ऊपर, वैसे ही ये जो आर्किगोनियम है ना, उसके माउथ पे लिड सेल्स होते हैं। तो ये लिड सेल, ये नेक कैनाल सेल एंड द वेंटर कैनाल सेल, ये सारे जेलेटनाइज हो जाते हैं, एक जेली लाइक फॉर्म बनाते हैं। और ये एंथ्रोजॉइड जब ये फ्लास्क के नेक में से अंदर आने की कोशिश करते हैं ना, तो उनको नरिशमेंट प्रोवाइड करते हैं। कौन कौन? एनसीसी, VCC and the lid cell. NCC is neck canal cell, VCC is venter canal cell and lid cell. ये तीनों ना जेलेटिन के जैसा, जेली जैसा कुछ बन जाते हैं और लुब्रिकेशन देते हैं फॉर दी एंथ्रोजॉइड्स टू मूव इनसाइड, अलोंग विद दैट नरिशमेंट देते हैं। अब क्या हो जाएगा बेटा, ये जो फीमेल गैमीट है और ये जो एंथ्रोजॉइड है, इनमें क्या हो जाएगा? कोई एक, हाँ, नॉट ऑल, फर्टिलाइजेशन हो जाएगा। करेक्ट? ईदर ऑफ देम, कोई भी एक ये एग के साथ फर्टिलाइजेशन करेगा। फर्टिलाइजेशन का रिजल्ट क्या होगा? कम ऑन टेल मी, व्हाट विल बी द रिजल्ट ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन? फर्टिलाइजेशन का रिजल्ट क्या होता है? इट विल लीड टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ व्हाट? कम ऑन, कैन यू ऑल टेल मी, इट विल लीड टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ व्हाट? वेरी नाइस, एग्जैक्टली। अरे, it will lead to the formation of something called as the zygote. Exactly, exactly. Very good, Ashwin. Very good. So ये क्या बना बच्चा? ये बना अपना zygote. अब ये जो है, ये zygote 2n होता है हमेशा, right? So this is going to be what? This is going to be zygote, which is going to be 2n. Correct? Correct. Now, in algae, we have seen the zygote undergoes meiosis. What did we see in algae? The zygote undergo meiosis. But in bryophytes, what we did say? हमने क्या बताया? They are the first embryophytes बताया हमने. Right? We said that they are the first embryophytes. मतलब this zygote will now undergo the process of, what will it undergo? The process of mitosis. Correct? And it will lead to the formation of what? Mitosis होने के बाद zygote will lead to the formation of what? Embryo. Embryo will be 2n and it will be multicellular. Correct? So embryo will be 2n and it will be multicellular. Correct? अब ये जो मल्टीसेलुलर एम्ब्रियो है, ये जो मल्टीसेलुलर एम्ब्रियो है, इसका आगे क्या होता है देखेंगे। ये जो एम्ब्रियो है, this embryo will then give rise to, can I write it up? Yeah, because you know वो उधर से है ना, मुझे जगह नहीं मिलेगी तो बहुत खिचड़ी हो जाएगी. So I'll write it up. Yeah. So this embryo will give rise to something called as what will it give rise to? Sporophyte. Sporophyte again 2n. Sporophyte is again 2n. Okay. Now जो स्पोरोफाइट है, उसके जनरेशन के बारे में लिखते हैं. स्पोरोफाइटिक जनरेशन कैसा होता है बेटा? तो ये देखो, ये गैमेटोफाइटिक जनरेशन n है, स्पोरोफाइटिक जनरेशन 2n है. स्पोरोफाइटिक जनरेशन के पार्ट्स कौन से हैं? सो द स्पोरोफाइटिक जनरेशन इज मेड अप ऑफ फूट, सेटा, capsule. Which are the parts of sporophytic generation? Foot, seta, capsule. Which are the parts of the gametophytic generation? Rhizoid, codex, frond, antheridium, archegonium. What are the parts of the sporophytic generation? Food, seta, capsule. Okay, तो ये food, seta, capsule कहाँ से develop हुए? They developed from the embryo by the process of mitosis. Correct? Now this food, seta and capsule has been formed. Right? Now this capsule, ये जो capsule है, ये 2n है या n है? Food, seta, capsule तीनों क्या है बेटा? हवा दे. They all are? Yes. Very good. Who is this? Yes, Komal. You're right, beta. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Manan. Very good. So, this food seta capsule जो है ना, ये सारे अपने 2n है ना? Correct? बराबर? अब ये जो कैप्सूल है, कैप्सूल के अंदर जो सेल्स है, ये सारे 2n सेल्स है. Correct? Now, few of the cells of the capsules will undergo meiosis to form haploid spores. Okay, so I'll write down over here that I'll write down in different color, so that will be easy. Few cells of capsule act as SMC. What is SMC? You know, ये अभी आपको याद करने पड़ेंगे वर्ड्स. What is SMC? SMC का मतलब होता है क्या मतलब होता है बेटा? Spore mother cells. So few cells of the capsule act as SMC to undergo meiosis and form haploid spores. Agreed? समझ में आ गई ये बात? कोई डिफिकल्टी है? Few cells of the capsule act as SMCs to undergo meiosis and form haploid spores. तो अभी कैप्सूल के अंदर क्या बना? कैप्सूल के अंदर स्पोर्स बने. अब ये कैप्सूल रप्चर होता है. ये जो कैप्सूल है, ये क्या हो जाएगा? रप्चर हो जाएगा. और जैसे ही कैप्सूल रप्चर हो जाएगा, ये जो स्पोर्स है, जो हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स है, जर्मिनेट हो जाएंगे. करेक्ट. तो ये जो हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स है, ये हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स अब जर्मिनेट हो जाएंगे. सो सी, ये जहां मैं हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स लिख रही हूँ ना, सीधा मैं जर्मिनेट हो रहे दिखा रही हूँ. और व्हाट विल दे फॉर्म आफ्टर जर्मिनेशन? After germination, they will form the gametophytic generation. So they germinate and they form gametophytic generation. So did you all understand that how gametophytic generation gave rise to sporophytic generation and how the sporophytic generation gave rise to the gametophytic generation? ये समझ में आया बेटा सिलसिला? Yes, Komal, you're right, beta. You're right. So after the spores will germinate, even they will become multicellular, but the spores are haploid. So haploid spore का mitosis will cause the formation of haploid multicellular tissue to be formed. हाँ, ये कंफ्यूजन वाला होता है बेटा, इसीलिए बहुत ध्यान से देखना. मैं एक बार रिपीट कर रही हूँ हाँ सबके लिए. I'll repeat it. Please pay attention. हाँ, if you don't follow, please ask me again. I don't mind because यही मेन क्या कहते हैं कंसेप्ट है हमारे ये चैप्टर का. वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस ना, आगे तो सिंपल ही है, बट ये पॉइंट सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. ओके, प्लीज पे अटेंशन. ओके, दिस इज योर ग्रीन कलर का मॉस जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है. इमेजिन करना कि बारिश हो रही है और आपके बिल्डिंग के वॉल पे ग्रीन कलर का मॉस दिखाई दे रहा है आपको. तो वो जो ग्रीन कलर का मॉस दिखाई दे रहा है, वो आपको क्या दिखाई दे रहा है बेटा? राइजोइड, स्पॉडेक्स, फ्रॉन्ट्स, उसके अंदर छिपा हुआ एंथरडियम एंड आर्किगोनियम है, वो दिखाई दे रहा है. इमेजिन लाइक दैट. ओके, व्हाई? because in bryophytes, gametophyte is dominant. Dominant means the one which can be seen with your naked eyes. ओके, सो वो जो ग्रीन कलर का मॉस आपको दिखाई दे रहा है उसमें छिपे हुए हैं एंथेरिडियम एंड आर्केगोनियम. Antheridium will give rise to antherozoids by the process of mitosis because it's also haploid and the gametes are also haploid. So it has to undergo mitosis. Now, antherozoids are going to be released before the archegonium is going to synthesize the egg or the oogonium. Now, these antherozoids will remain freely, suspended in the water bodies or in the moisture or the wherever they find water, while the archegonium, which is a flask-shaped structure, will form the female gamete or the oogamete or the oogonium as we call it. And when the oogonium is ready, the archegonium will liberate sucrose solution in the surrounding, which will act as a chemoattractant for the antherozoids to get inside it. Okay, as the antherozoid moves the neck and the venter to come and combine with the oogonium, and ultimately they form the zygote. The zygote is a two-end structure which will undergo mitosis to form a multicellular tissue of embryo. The embryo will further undergo mitosis to form an elaborate structure called as sporophyte. The sporophyte will be having foot seta capsule. इसका मतलब है embryo will develop to form foot seta capsule. Okay, the sporophytic generation is diploid. This sporophytic generation का जो capsule है, some of the cells of the capsule will act as SMCs, that is spore mother cells. Whenever I use the word mother cells, इसका मतलब है only those cells are destined to undergo meiosis. Okay, सिर्फ मदर सेल्स जो होते हैं ना उन्हीं को आगे मियोसिस करने होने का या मियोसिस अंडरगो करने का कैपेसिटी आ जाता है. Okay, so the cells of the capsule, some of them will act as SMCs and they will undergo meiosis to form haploid cells. These haploid spores are held inside the capsule for a time till it becomes favorable for release. Once the conditions are favorable, the capsule will break open to liberate the haploid spores. The haploid spores will then germinate to form rhizoid, caudex, frond, antheridium, and archegonium, and the cycle will keep on repeating. Okay, is there any confusion still, my dears, in your mind? Yes, yes, my dear, you're right, Komal. They differentiate to form your food seta capsule. Very correct. Very correct. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this phenomena. यही है टेरिडोफाइट्स में भी यही है और अपने एंजियोस्पर्म जिम्नोस्पर्म में भी यही सब हो रहा है. कुछ डिफरेंट नहीं हो रहा है, थोड़े से वर्ड्स इधर उधर, बट प्रोसेस वही है. Anyone who is having still any confusions in your mind, my dears? So here I have shown gametophytic generation with sporophytic. Yeah, you can draw. I'll wait. I'll give you time for writing or drawing. NCC part na, I'll show you. Once let me complete this, then I will draw and I'll show you. Then your NCC, BCC also will get completely cleared. वो भी मैं बताऊंगी. I'll tell you बेटा, don't worry. Okay? But ये cycle समझा है पूरा? All of y'all? You won't get these explanations anywhere. Okay? So be careful with understanding the concepts like these. हो गया तो बताओ हाँ मुझे. See, actually what happens na beta, actually if you see human reproduction that we had started with, हमने सबसे पहला चैप्टर ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन किया, लेकिन वो समझना बहुत सिंपल था, बिकॉज इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ अस। अब ये जो बातें हैं ना, वी हैव नेवर सीन दीज थिंग्स, वी हैव नेवर हर्ड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, हमें लोअर स्टैंडर्ड्स में उसका कुछ इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं था। तो ये समझना ऐसे लगता है कि ओ माय गॉड ये क्या है, बट व्हेन यू लिसन टू इट अगेन एंड अगेन, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट दैट प्लीज लुक एट दीज वीडियोस, जो रिकॉर्डिंग्स है उसको बार बार देखो, और ये जो कंसेप्ट होते हैं ना, इनको बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझ के ले लो बेटा। और अगर कुछ नहीं समझता है, कुछ भी कंफ्यूजन है, एनी टाइम, यू नो, वेन एवर वी मीट, यू कैन आस्क मी एनी ऑफ योर डाउट्स। कंसेप्चुअल डाउट्स अगर कुछ है तो बिल्कुल क्लियर करने चाहिए। ओके, सो आई गेस एवरीवन इज कंप्लीटेड। कैन आई क्लियर दिस ड्राइंग? ओके, now I'll tell you about the this one also, uh, antheridium also. Huh. Male gametes are formed from antheridium and female from archegonium. Yes, my dear, you're right. You're right. Okay. So this is going to be your racket shaped structure, जो मैं आपको बता रही थी कि racket shaped structure होता है अपने इसका किसका, एंथेरिडियम का। तो ये देखिए, ये एंथेरिडियम है ना, कुछ ऐसे रैकेट शेप स्ट्रक्चर का होता है, और इसके अंदर मैं और एक गोला बना रही हूँ। वो क्यों, वो मैं बताऊंगी ऑफ कोर्स, आई टेल यू ऑल अबाउट दैट, नो डाउट। तो ये देखो बेटा, ये जो है ना, ये इसको हम कहते हैं, ये जो मैं बाहर का कवरिंग बना रही हूँ ना, ये बाहर के कवरिंग को हम कहते हैं जैकेट सेल्स। क्या कहते हैं हम लोग इसको? व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज? जैकेट सेल्स। Okay. Now jacket cells are sterile. The jacket cells won't make antherzoids. So antherzoids कहाँ बनेंगे? Antherzoids इसके अंदर बनेंगे. I'll show you the antherzoids also. Okay. तो ये जो है ना, इसके अंदर antherzoids बनने लगते हैं. So there would be many antherzoids being formed. Of course they are flagellated. अभी तो ऐसे बहुत सारे एंथरजॉइड्स हैं ना, इधर बनते जाएंगे। किधर बनते जाएंगे? हमारे एंथरजॉइड्स के अंदर बनते जाएंगे। ओके, एंड then they all will get liberated, they'll all get liberated because they are going to be formed earlier. तो ये जो है, ये एंथरजॉइड्स है, जो अंदर उनके फ्लैजेला दिखाई नहीं देंगे बिकॉज वो एक दूसरे में है ना मर्ज रहते हैं। So internally it's difficult to view the flagella, but once they are out, then we can show the flagellated antherzoids. So see, these are your flagellated antherzoids. Okay, तो ये देखिए, ये flagellated antherzoids यहाँ पर मैंने दिखाए हैं। Okay, in the same way I'll make archegonium. Archegonium is going to be a flash shaped structure. So it's somewhat like this way. Okay, एंड नीचे से इट्स गोइंग टू बी लाइक अ फ्लास्क। तो ये जो है, ये थोड़ा सा मुझे वो अपने पेन से ड्रॉ करने के लिए इजी हो जाता है ऑफकोर्स। ओके, सो ये ऐसे फ्लास्क के जैसा दिखाई देगा। एंड इनसाइड दिस ना, इनसाइड दिस देयर आर गोइंग टू बी, you know, these type of cells. You can see the way I'm drawing the cells. ये देखो, ये मैं सेल्स ड्रॉ कर रही हूँ यहाँ से अंदर की तरफ। दैट विल मेक योर एनसीसी वीसीसी ये सब अभी क्लियर हो जाएगा। कैन यू सी दिस समोसा के जैसा, इन्वर्टेड समोसा का स्ट्रक्चर? यस। तो ये हो गया, और अभी कलर में डिफर कर रही हूँ बिकॉज आई नीड टू शो द एग फॉर्मेशन। सो यहाँ पर नीचे की तरफ होता है, ये अपना एग है। Bryophyta का. Okay, so I label these things, don't worry. हाँ, इधर मैंने जैकेट सेल्स ड्रॉ करने के लिए भूल गई बेटा. यहाँ पर जैकेट सेल्स होते ही है, so I'll draw the जैकेट सेल्स also. so ये जो मैं रेड में बना रही हूँ ना, ये जैकेट सेल्स है. और ये जैकेट सेल्स पूरे मतलब इवन अपने वेंटर के ऊपर भी होते हैं. So these are going to be your sterile jacket cells. Sterile means they are not involved in making any gametes. So ये जो रेड वाला पूरा outer covering मैंने बनाया है ना, those are your jacket cells. So let me just quickly label them. These are jacket cells. दोनों तरफ सेम है. इधर जो है ये मैं एंथ्रोजॉइड दिखा रही हूँ ये वाले के लिए. इधर वर्ड्स आएंगे NCC, that is your neck canal cells. Okay, now these all are going to be your haploids, because they all are going to be, you know, from the gametophytic generation. So please, NCC is also haploid. VCC, that is venter canal cell. This is also going to be haploid. Okay, then we have got this as the venter and this as the egg, or we call it as oogonium, whatever. I'll label it. It will become easy for you. ये जैकेट सेल्स हैं. वैसे ये जैकेट सेल्स रेड वाले, ये जो है ये एंथ्रोजॉइड्स है, या फिर ये भी एंथ्रोजॉइड्स है. अब ये जो ब्लू वाले सेल्स है, दीज आर योर NCC. ओके, ये जो समोसा वाला सेल है, इट इज योर VCC. ये जो ओपन स्पेस आपको दिखाई दे रहा है, दिस इज वेंटर. और ये जो रेड वाला दिखाई दे रहा है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द एग. ओके, सो ये जो स्ट्रक्चर्स हमने ड्रॉ किए हैं, दिस स्ट्रक्चर इज ऑफ antheridium and this structure is of archegonium. Fine. Now this antheridium and archegonium का shape, structure, physiology सब कुछ same है pteridophytes में भी. There is no difference. There also the antheridium is racket shape and archegonium is flask shape. There also there are jacket cells. There also there are anthozoids. Even in pteridophytes will be having NCC, VCC, venter, egg और oogonium exactly the same. So अगर आपको आज ये समझ में आता है तो आपको pteridophytes भी समझ में आ जाएगा. ठीक है, got it? So kindly copy down these diagrams of antheridium and archegonium quickly with your NCC, VCC, everything. I did not make one. I'll make those also. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot to make one structure over here. That's going to be your ये मैं भूल गई थी. ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसको हम कहते हैं lid cells. I told you that lid cells करके कुछ होते हैं. So these are going to be your lid cells. ये दोनों भी lid cells. Yes, Komal, right. Okay, so kindly make these lid cells. They are going to be, you know, covering the egg formation होने तक ये पूरे assembly को cover करके रखना है, so that anthrozoids do not enter inside, right? Have you all understood this, whatever I've put up? बिल्कुल समझा बेटा? Done? Okay. Can I clear the diagrams now? Okay, fine. So, well, so we can stop and we can share our slide. It will be very easy for me to now actually explain the slides to you all. Okay. Well, so now let us come to the content. Now we have understood everything. So see, we were here that they are the first embryophytes. So for the zygote to form the embryo was first seen in bryophytes. Therefore, they are going to be called as the first embryophytes. Some cells of sporophyte undergoes meiosis to produce haploid spores. You know these some cells belong to your capsule, correct? So the capsule cells will act as SMCs and they will undergo meiosis to form the haploid spore. And the haploid spore will then germinate to produce the gametophyte. So now you understood this sentence perfectly, I guess. The main plant body of the bryophyte is haploid. So the gametophyte, which is the main plant body, is haploid. It produces gametes and hence it's called as gametophyte. Now it becomes simple, right? Yes. Now, the sex organs in bryophytes are multicellular. The male sex organ is called as antheridium and they produce biflagellate antherozoids, biflagellates having two flagella. The female sex organ is called as the archegonium, which is flash shape and it produces a single egg. The antherozoids are released into the water where they come in contact with the archegonium. The antherozoid fuses with the egg to produce the zygote. The zygote immediately after fertilization divides repeatedly, means undergoes mitosis without undergoing any resting period. So, फटाफट divisions होते जाएंगे. The embryo is going to be formed. This embryo is not liberated, but it is retained within the archegonium, where it develops into a multicellular body called as the sporophyte. So ये जो zygote हमने देखा वेंटर के अंदर एग था, बराबर है? वो वेंटर के अंदर अभी हमने एग बनाया था, उधर फर्टिलाइजेशन हो जाएगा, तो वो जो वेंटर है उसमें जाइगोट डेवलप होगा. Zygote will undergo mitosis to form the foot seta capsule of the sporophyte. Okay, so the sporophyte is not free living. So sporophyte is going to be attached to the venter, correct? So it's not free living but attached to the photosynthetic gametophyte and derives nourishment from it. Some cells of the sporophyte may undergo reduction division, that is meiosis, to produce haploid spores. These spores will germinate to form the gametophyte. इधर तक पूरी कहानी खत्म about the reproduction part. Anyone having any difficulty in understanding these points now once I've explained the diagrammatic forms? Now it's easy. Now you follow these languages and the sentences. Good. So you want me to go to the previous slide? Okay. Yeah. Done? This is the same which I had explained in fact. So I'm going a bit fast now. Okay. Well, now we come to the classes of bryophytes. So bryophytes are divided into three classes: Hepatic-Acaea or Hepatic-Opsida, which is liverworts; Anthocerotiae or Anthoceratopsida, that is hornworts; Muscae or mosses. However, ICBN recommended names of these classes as Hepatic-Opsida, Anthoceratopsida, and Muscae. So these are the scientifically accepted names of the classes of bryophytes. Hepatic means liver, so they are liverworts. Anthoceros means horns, so they are hornworts. And muscae or bryopsida as we call it is your mosses. Okay? Let us see them. Liverworts or Hepatic-Opsida, you can see the structure of these gametophytes. देखो liver के जैसा ही इनका somewhat structure होता है. So the liverworts grow usually in moist, shady habitats such as banks of streams, marshy ground, damp soil, bark of trees, deep in the woods. ओके, जहां जहां मॉइस्चर है उधर ये लीवरवर्ट्स ग्रो होते हैं. The main plant body of the liverwort is thalloid, that is, example is Mertensia. So Mertensia is an example of liverwort, which is your hepatic opsida, a class of bryophyte. ठीक है. The thallus is dorsiventral and closely appressed to the substrate. Dorsiventral flat होता है. Appressed means attached to the substratum. Okay. The leafy members have tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structures. तो इनके जो अगर आप इसको देखेंगे ना तो ये ऐसे leaf-like structures बनाते हैं. They are not leaves. They do not have true leaves. They are going to have leaf-like structures. So this is a female thallus. Look at the archegoniophore. Archegoniophore is the stalk on which archegonium stands. And this is antheriophore, the stalk on which the antheridium stands. Now you will say कि मिस यहाँ पर कहाँ हमें वो फ्लैश शेप स्ट्रक्चर दिखाई दे रहा है या रैकेट शेप स्ट्रक्चर दिखाई दे रहा है. बेटा ये इसके अंदर होता है. ये जो सर्कल आपको दिखाई दे रहा है ना, ये लिड सेल है. इसके अंदर की तरफ इधर ये वेंटर होगा, एनसीसी होगा, सब कुछ होगा. और ये जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है ना, ये वाला, ये ऊपर गोला दिखाई दे रहा है येलो कलर का, that is going to be your racket shaped structure present inside. Okay, so antheridium and archegonium will be present inside this, and the stalk on which they are standing is going to be called as phore, phore. Here there is something called as gemma cups. What are they? I'll of course explain about them as well आगे. Here you can see these are the unicellular rhizoids. ये जो rhizoids है ना, liverworts के rhizoids जो होते हैं ना, ये unicellular rhizoids होते हैं. Multicellular rhizoids bryopsida में दिखाई देंगे. So these rhizoids are unicellular rhizoids. Okay. Asexual reproduction in liverworts takes place by fragmentation of thalli. तो वो जो liver के shape का जो thallus था ना, if it undergoes breaking, each fragment will give rise to a new liverwort. Okay, so they take place by fragmentation or by the formation of specialized structures called as the gemmae. Singular is gemma. So gemmae are green, multicellular, asexual buds which develop in small cup-like structures or receptacles called as the gemma cups located on the thalli. तो ये आपने देखा था ये प्रीवियस स्लाइड पे. ये देखो बेटा, ये आपको कप लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं जिसको हम जेमा कप्स कहते हैं. और ये जेमा कप्स के अंदर जेमा होते हैं या जेमे होते हैं. आपने एनिमल किंगडम में ये देखा होगा इन स्पॉन्जेस समथिंग कॉल्ड एज जेम्यूल्स. हैव यू ऑल हर्ड अबाउट दीज जेम्यूल्स? जेम्यूल्स आपने देखा स्पॉन्जेस में एनिमल किंगडम, जेम्यूल फॉर्मेशन. हाँ, तो हाइड्रा में भी है, स्पॉन्जेस में भी है. तो जैसे वो जेम्यूल्स होते हैं ना, सेम ये जेमा होते हैं. जेमा is a botanical word. Gemule is a zoological word. Okay, so be very very careful. Gemma is botanical word. Gemule is zoological word. Don't get confused with them. Don't mark gemma for animalia and don't mark gemule for botany. प्लांटे के लिए जेम्यूल ये रॉन्ग दिया जाएगा. जेम्यूल्स स्पॉन्जेस, जेमा लिवरवर्ट्स. ठीक है. ओके, तो ये कप्स के अंदर ये होते हैं. अब देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन इन द ईयर 2016. Select the incorrect statement among the following. So the question was, gemma are green, multicellular, sexual birds which develop in small receptacles called as gemma cups located on the thalli. What is wrong in this? हाँ, वेरी गुड हिमांशु, बिल्कुल सही पकड़े बेटा, बिल्कुल सही पकड़े. I made it incorrect as sexual birds. They are not sexual, they are asexual. In the year 2011, similar type of question. Gemma are non-chlorophyllous multicellular asexual buds which develop on small receptacles called as gemma cup. They are green, so they are chlorophyllous, and they had made it as non-chlorophyllous. In the year 2006, there was a question in RJPMT, that is Rajasthan PMT में ये question था. Gemma are green unicellular asexual buds which develop in a small receptacle called as gemma cup. So it's not unicellular, it's going to be multicellular. So my dear, with this one single sentence, they have made 3-4 questions. So be very careful with such type of sentences when you read in your NCERT textbooks or your government textbooks. Okay? The gemmae become detached from the parent body and germinate to form the new individuals. During sexual reproduction, male and female sex organs are produced either on the same thalli or on the different thalli. Right now we saw in Marchantia, it was on different thalli. So Marchantia is dioecious type of a plant. The sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. After meiosis, spores are produced within the capsule. These spores germinate to form free-living gametophytes. Now it becomes very simple, isn't it? अब ये बहुत easy हो गया समझना, right? Yes. So I hope you all have followed these things very nicely about the reproduction. Let it be sexual or asexual reproduction or vegetative. So vegetative reproduction by fragmentation, asexual production by gemma formation, sexual reproduction by antheridium and oogonium, archegonium. Any doubts? Any doubts, my dears? Any confusion? Clear? Good. Then we go to hornworts. Anthoceros or Notothylus, members of the Anthocerotia, is called as hornworts as they possess elongated horn-like sporophytes. तो ये hornworts को hornworts इसलिए कहा गया है क्योंकि उनका शेप जो है ना sporophytes का वो horns के जैसा होता है. Capsules of these members contain spores. All capsules will contain spores. Anthoceros cells have one chloroplast with one pyrenoid. So see, my dears, pyrenoid was seen in green algae. It was not seen in brown. It was not seen in red, but it is seen in the bryophyte of Anthoceros. तो Anthoceros में ही होता है, बाकी किसी भी क्लास में नहीं होता है. So it resembles algal thallus. Okay. So Anthoceros is going to be an example of Anthoceratopsida. इतना ही पता है हमें hornworts के बारे में, और ज़्यादा रिसर्च हुआ नहीं है. So we don't need to think too much on hornworts. Okay. Last one is musci or bryopsida or mosses as we call it. The predominant stage of the life cycle of moss is the gametophyte, which consists of 2 stages. The first stage is called as a protonema stage, which develops directly from the spore. Now, my dears, ये जो मस्काई है ना, ये मोस्ट इवॉल्व्ड ब्रायोफाइट्स है, मोस्ट इवॉल्व्ड है. तो इसीलिए ना इनमें थोड़ा सा कहानी में ट्विस्ट है, बाकी सारी चीजें सेम है. जो अभी मैंने एक्सप्लेन की थी ना, एवरीथिंग रिमेन्स द सेम विद अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ कहानी में ट्विस्ट. व्हाट इज दैट? The predominant stage of life cycle of a moss is that of gametophyte. Yes, the gametophyte is dominant. But this dominant gametophyte stage will have 2 substages. One will be called as the protonemal stage. The other will be called as the leafy stage. So what is the protonemal stage and what is the leafy stage? Let us understand. The first stage is the protonemal stage, which develops directly from a spore. So as the spore germinates, it will give rise to a structure which is going to be called as your protonema. Okay. It is a creeping, green, branched and frequently filamentous stage. So it's long and filamentous. Okay. ये filaments के जैसे लंबे लंबे होते हैं. The second stage is the leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. अब है ना बेटा, ये तभी समझेगा. ये अगेन ये जो है ये कंटेंट जो है ये रॉन्ग नहीं है, ये कंटेंट बिल्कुल सही है, बट लुकिंग एट द एक्सप्लेनेशन यू कांट इमेजिन, है ना. तो थोड़ा सा हम अपना अगेन शस्त्र निकालते हैं व्हाइट बोर्ड का, जहां पर इसको मैं आपको बिल्कुल सिंपल कर देती हूँ. ठीक है. चल, सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दिस इन अ वेरी सिंप्लीफाइड वे. सो किधर गए? हाँ, चलो बेटा. सो ये हम इमेजिन करते हैं कि दीज आर द स्पोर्स. These are the haploid spores which have been liberated from the capsule of the sporophyte, है ना. तो ये स्पोर्स है. ये कौन है? ये हमारे हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स है. करेक्ट. ओके. अब ये जो हैप्लॉइड स्पोर्स है, they will undergo germination. What will they undergo? They will undergo germination. So they will germinate. Okay. And on germination, what will they produce? So on germination, they will produce something like this way. Okay. They'll produce something like this way. That is filamentous form. है ना. तो ये क्या बनाएंगे बेटा? filamentous form बनाएंगे. और ये मल्टी सेल्यूलर है ना, इसलिए उसको हम कंपार्टमेंट दिखाएंगे. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ मल्टी सेल्यूलर filamentous form of the germinated spore. ठीक है, समझ में आ गई बात. तो ये जो हमने अभी बनाया है, इसको हम कहते हैं, क्या कहते हैं? प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा. क्या कहेंगे बेटा इसको हम? प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा. So haploid spores will germinate to form a filamentous primary protonema. इधर तक कहानी इजी. अब आगे देखो क्या होता है. आगे जो है, it will result into something like this way. So the primary protonema is then going to form something like this. अब बोलोगे सेम ही तो ड्रॉ कर रहे हो, क्या अलग बना रहे हो? बताती बेटा क्या अलग है ना, ये भी बताती हूँ. हाँ, 2 मिनट्स. तो ये अपना हो गया प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा के जैसा ही स्ट्रक्चर, जो बिल्कुल प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा जैसा फिलहाल दिख रहा है. अब इसको हमें थोड़ा सा अलग बनाना है. ये देखो, ये आपको ऐसे कुछ दिखाई दे रहे हैं. डायमंड्स मैंने बनाए हैं. यस. तो ये जो डायमंड्स के जैसे मैंने बनाए हैं ना बेटा, इसको हम कहते हैं बड्स. वी कॉल देम एज बड्स. सो ये जो मैंने क्या बनाए, आई हैव मेड देम एज बड्स. मैंने हर एक लैटरल ब्रांच के ऊपर एक बड बनाया है, देखो है या नहीं. एवरीवेयर आई हैव मेड बड्स. सो दीज आर द बड्स. जैसे मैंने ऊपर बनाए हैं ना, वैसे मैं नीचे भी बनाऊंगी. So similar kind of buds I'll be making it to be here also. ठीक है, समझ में आ रही है बात. So I've made 4 and 4. I've made 8 buds totally. Okay, so these are the buds. Okay. So ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है ना, जहाँ पर बड्स बने हुए हैं, ये प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा का जो क्रॉस वॉल्स है, उधर के साइड से बड्स निकले हुए हैं. Okay, now what is the beauty? See, now that particular zone which will be facing the sunlight, or those buds which will be facing the sunlight, will develop into secondary protonema, while those buds which are away from the sunlight will develop into rhizoids. Again I'm repeating, those buds which are facing the sunlight will develop into secondary protonema, while those buds which are away from the sunlight will develop into rhizoids. समझ में आ गई बात. तो देखिए अब क्या बनेगा इससे. It will result into the formation of the secondary protonema and the rhizoids. तो ये कैसे बन रहा है वो हम देखेंगे. Let us talk about them. So again I'm going to make similar type of a structure very much similar. with the cross walls, same, but there is going to be a bit of difference over here. That is, there will be germination of these buds, and they will give rise to, yeah. So here I'm going to make the formation of राइजोइड्स। तो ये देखो, इसको मैं ना राइजोइड्स के फॉर्म में बना रही हूँ बेटा। तो ये देखो, ये बने अपने राइजोइड्स सब जगह से। तो ये जो बर्ड्स है ये जर्मिनेट हुए और क्या बनाए, ये बर्ड जर्मिनेट होके बनाए हैं राइजोइड्स। सी हाउ दे आर गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड इनटू राइजोइड्स। सो these all are going to be, you know, like पूरा पकड़ के रखेंगे अपने सबस्ट्रेटम को, एंड दिस इज द वे दे विल कैच होल्ड ऑफ द सबस्ट्रेटम। तो ये क्या है, दीज आर नॉट रूट्स, हाँ, दीज आर द राइजोइड्स। एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड, ये जो बर्ड्स है ना, दे विल बिकम something like this, okay, which will be called as what? It will be called as secondary protonema। इसको हम क्या नाम देते हैं, सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा कहते हैं हम इसको। तो ये जो बर्ड्स है ना, ये किसी भी मतलब कैसे भी ये ग्रो करेंगे टू फॉर्म योर सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा। अंडरस्टूड। अब इसको प्रोटोनेमा बोला है, तो वाई प्रोटोनेमा, क्योंकि इधर भी क्रॉस वॉल्स हमें दिखाई देंगे। So you can see the cross walls over here also, but they are a bit thinner. So the primary protonema will give rise to the secondary protonema। कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? ये देखो बेटा, तो यहाँ पर बने अपने सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा। ओके, अब ये सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा जो है, ये जो सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा जो है, जो यहाँ पर हमने बनाया है, आई राइट डाउन द नेम ऑफ ऑल दीज। सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर बर्ड फॉर्मेशन। बर्ड्स यहाँ पर बनेंगे, और ये जो बना है ये आपका सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा है, और ये आपके मल्टी सेल्यूलर राइजोइड्स है। ओके, और ये जो है ये आपका सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा जो मैंने लिखा हुआ है। एंड नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन ऑन दिस सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा ना बेटा, ऑन दिस सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा देयर विल बी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लीफ लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स। तो जो आपको मॉस दिखाई देता है ना, ये ऐसा पूरा मैट के जैसा, ये देखो, it is because of this। So this is called as your leafy stage। So first stage is primary protonema and the second stage is a leafy stage, जो ये leaves बनाएगा पूरा का पूरा, ऐसे भर भर के leaves बनते हैं पूरे as a mat। समझ में आ गई बात? So this is the way, you know, like your mosses are going to be growing during your रेनी सीजन। तो अभी जैसे ही रेन्स अप्रोच होंगे, अगर आप देखने के लिए जाओगे तो आपको अभी समझ में आ जाएगा कि ये मॉसेस कैसे बनते हैं, हाउ डू दे रिप्रोड्यूस। So this is the way they are going to be reproducing via these spores। So I hope you all have followed what is primary protonema, what is secondary protonema, what is the leafy stage, everything is followed, I hope। Is there any confusion in your mind still? So now when I'll go to the wordings now, that time you will come to know what they are saying। I'll draw and I'll give you a quick recap of whatever we have done till now of the spore germination। Okay, so this will be called as your leafy stage। Okay, so see my dears over here, the spores were liberated from the capsule of the sporophyte, and these spores germinated to form a filamentous vegetative body called as the primary protonema। The primary protonema then developed buds on the cross walls on both the sides, leading to the formation of multicellular rhizoids from those buds which are facing away from the sun, while the buds which are facing towards the sun develop secondary protonema. The secondary protonema then gave rise to the leafy stage. Now this leafy stage is nothing but it is going to be what? It's going to be your rhizoid, कॉडेक्स एंड फ्रॉन्ट. तो ये देखो ये मल्टीसेलुलर राइजोइड्स मैंने नीचे बनाए हैं. ये जो सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनेमा वाला ये जो जोन है ना इसका, ये वाला, इसको हम कहेंगे कॉडेक्स, और ये जो लीफ लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है उसको हम कहेंगे फ्रॉन्ट्स. और इनके अंदर अब बनेंगे क्या? एंथेरिडियम एंड आर्केगोनियम आगे जाके. ओके, नाउ यू गॉट इट. इट्स इजी एंड वेरी सिंपल नाउ, राइट? यस, ड्रॉ दिस, नॉट गिवन एनीवेयर. क्विकली इसको ड्रॉ कर लेना. Once you complete it, do let me know. नहीं तो मैं इधर वेट करती रहूंगी, तुम लोग लिख रहे हो करके और तुम लोग बताओगे नहीं हो गया है करके. Yours is done? Okay. That was good idea, है ना हिमांशु? Very good, very good. Okay, fine. So, can I go to the main slides now? Okay, let us complete Bryophyta today. He was writing when I was, like when even I was drawing that the same time even he was writing. इसने बोला great idea. Fine. With all of you all, my dears, I'll go to. Exactly. Yes, Sita. Yeah. Once you understand these basic things now, it's like full marks in botany section also then. No one will stop you. It's very easy once you understand the concept. Yes. Perfect, my dear. Chal. So I think majority of you all have completed it. So I can go ahead with the done now. Okay. Chal. So I'll stop this share and I'll go to our main sharing. That is our slides. Okay. So now you understood this. The first stage is the protonema stage. Here the diagram that you are seeing is going to be the leafy stage. ये leafy stage का diagram है, ये देखिए. और ये secondary protonema है, ये primary protonema है, ये secondary protonema and so on. Okay? So ये antheridial branch बताया और ये archegonial branch बताया. मतलब इसके ऊपर इसके अंदर antheridium बना है और इसके अंदर archegonium बनाया है. Okay? Okay, so the first stage is the protonema stage, which develops directly from the spore. So we saw the spore germinated to form the protonema stage. It's creepy, green, branched, and frequently filamentous stage. The second stage is the leafy stage. That is the formation of the, like leaf-like structures, which develops from the secondary protonema. But from where will the secondary protonema generate? कुछ नहीं बताया है. पहले बोल रहे प्राइमरी प्रोटोनेमा बना, फिर बोल रहे लीफी स्टेज बना, और लीफी स्टेज कहाँ से बना? तो सेकेंडरी से बना. भाई प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी में क्या फर्क है वो तो बोलो. तो अभी तुम्हें पता है वो. करेक्ट. So the second stage is the leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral branch. साइड से मैंने दिखाए थे, लीव्स बनाए थे मैंने. They consist of upright slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. So हमने जैसे ड्रॉ किए थे. They are attached to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids, which we had drawn. This stage bears the sex organs, that is antheridium and archegonium. So now it becomes easy, na? Yes, my dear. So it becomes really very easy once you like Vegetative reproduction in mosses is by fragmentation, budding in the secondary protonema. In sexual reproduction, the sex organs Antheridia and Archegonia are produced at the apex of the leafy shoots. After fertilization, the zygote develops into a sporophyte consisting of food seta and capsule. So this is the diagram which I was talking about. Capsule दिखाई दे रही है, food दिखाई दे रहा है, seta दिखाई दे रहा है. Okay. The sporophyte in mosses is more elaborate than that in the liverworts. The capsule contains the spores. Spores are formed as a result of meiosis. The mosses have an elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal. In your syllabus, you don't have the mechanism of spore dispersal, but there are several mechanisms like elater mechanism, then parachute mechanism, then they have got something called as पेरिस्टोम टीथ मैकेनिज्म. ये अलग अलग मैकेनिज्म से ये होते हैं, स्पोर डिस्पर्स होते हैं, बट इट्स नॉट देयर इन योर सिलेबस. ओके, या सो यस बेटा, यस. सो बहुत एलोबरेट मैकेनिज्म है स्पोर डिस्पर्सल का. कॉमन एग्जांपल्स आर फ्यूनेरिया, पॉलीट्रिकम एंड स्पैग्नम. So funaria is the moss that you see on your walls and all. Polytrichum भी कभी कभी दिखाई देता है, जो लेक्स के यहाँ पर जो एक स्कम डेवलप होता है ना, दैट इज योर polytrichum. एंड स्पैग्नम मॉस तो आपने सबने देखा है. डू यू यू नो लाइक हैव यू सीन द बुके ऑफ फ्लावर्स दैट आर गिफ्टेड? फ्लोरल बुकेज जो हमें गिफ्ट में मिलते हैं या हम किसी को देते हैं, तो वो जो फ्लावर्स होते हैं उनको एक स्पॉन्ज में डाला जाता है. देखा है आपने? वो स्पॉन्ज में अटकाते हैं फ्लावर्स को, एक नेट बनाते हैं मेटल का और उसमें वो स्पॉन्ज होता है और स्पॉन्ज में वो फ्लावर्स अटकाते हैं. या इट्स अ वेरी टाइट स्पॉन्ज जिसको फिर हम लोग है ना पानी डाल डाल के है ना वी कैन यू नो इम्प्रूव द शेल्फ लाइफ ऑफ दैट बुके. तो वो जो ग्रीन कलर का ब्लॉक होता है ना, टाइट ऐसा एकदम ग्रीन ब्लॉक, that is your sphagnum moss. Okay, so that is also your moss only, which is called as the sphagnum moss. It's also called as peat moss. उससे हमें peat भी मिलता है, आगे आएगा वो. Anyways, so look over here. These are the rhizoids. This is the main axis. These are the leaves, seta, and capsule. So sporophyte and gametophyte. So sporophyte is dependent for nourishment on the gametophyte. Okay. Yeah. So finally, to end with bryophytes, this is the economic importance. What are the economically, how are they important? Bryophytes in general are of little economic importance, but some mosses provide food for herbaceous mammals, birds, and other animals. Species of sphagnum, a moss, provide peat that have long been used as fuel. It's also used as a packaging material for transshipment of living material because of their capacity to hold water. So that's what I said. वो बुकेज में जो फ्लावर्स होते हैं ना, उसके अंदर जब हम पानी डालते हैं वो स्पॉन्ज में ग्रीन कलर के, it has got water holding capacity. इसलिए the flowers will remain fresh for a very long time. Mosses, along with lichens, are the first organisms to colonize rocks and hence are of great ecological importance. So, as I said, lichens are the pioneers of barren rock successions and they will be followed by your mosses or bryophytes. They decompose rocks, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. Since mosses form dense mats on the soil, they reduce the impact of falling rain and prevent soil erosion as well. Okay, so these are the economic importance or the ecological importance, to be very precise, of mosses. Okay, so with this we complete mosses as well. In tomorrow's class we'll go ahead with pteridophytes. The most complex part of this chapter was bryophyta, and I guess you all have understood it very nicely. If there is any difficulty, of course you are free to ask me anytime. Okay, with this we'll stop for today and tomorrow we'll continue with pteridophytes. Now only pteridophyte, gymno and angio is remaining. Okay. You want me to put with the 20th slide? 27? Oh my god. This one? On what? Okay. So let us meet tomorrow. morning 8 o'clock and go ahead with pteridophytes. Okay? You're done, beta, with the 27th slide. You wanted the 27th slide. You're done with it? Okay. So I'll. Okay, my dear. Welcome. So let us meet tomorrow. By the time. Bye. See you all. Have a nice day, beta. Yeah, I'll send the PDF. I'll send the PDF. Yes, beta. Bye. Bye.